Joining me is Greg Johnson, President and CEO of Wellgreen Platinum. Wellgreen is a Canadian-based mining company developing platinum group metals projects in politically stable, mining-friendly jurisdictions. The company's flagship Wellgreen project in the Yukon Territory is one of the largest undeveloped PGM projects in the world. Wellgreen trades in the TSX under the symbol WG and WGPLF here in the U.S. Greg, thanks for being here to share your story.
Good to be with you.
Well, it's been a challenging year, obviously. You guys seem to end the year with a bang. Quite a few things were getting done. Anytime I'm looking at a story, I'm always looking at, first and foremost at management. What can you tell me about the Wellgreen management team that you've assembled, and maybe any key directors or prize successes that you may have had?
Yeah, well, Wellgreen is a relatively new name in the sector. It's a pretty small space in terms of those companies that are involved in the platinum group metals area. Most of the world's production is in South Africa and Russia, with a bit in Canada. Our team has experience both in platinum group metals mining with Xstrata and Vale out of Ontario, as well as developing mines in the Yukon with Capstone. Our team, in addition to myself, my background, I started out with Barrick Gold, and then went on to be co-founder at Nova Gold, South American Silver, and I'm president and CEO at Wellgreen Platinum since November. The other members of our senior management team joined us also in November of last year. John Sagman, our Chief Operating Officer, particularly the experience in building and operating mines in the PGM space and with Capstone. And then Jeffrey Mason joining us from the Hunter Dickinson Group, where he was involved in a number of projects in the north as well as projects in South Africa on the platinum side. We've got a great board of directors as well, strong in corporate governance, as well as operating experience with our new chairman, Mike Sylvestre. And the team is looking forward to really getting out and hitting the road to tell the story on Wellgreen Platinum. We're pretty excited about this story, in part because of the scale of the project we've got, with in excess of 7 million ounces of platinum metals that come along with a significant copper and nickel resource as well, and the fact that this is an open pittable project, located in a jurisdiction that is one of the best mining jurisdictions in Canada, up in the Yukon.
And that runs right into my next point. As an investor, again, the first two things I look at are going to be that management team and the jurisdiction. And Yukon very friendly. Any other highlights that make being in the Yukon should make investors feel that much better about what you're doing?
Well, northern projects are not all created the same, and one of the challenges in working in a place like the Yukon in the north is that oftentimes your projects can be very remote. We're very fortunate that our project is just off of the Alaska Highway in the southwestern corner of the Yukon. We'll have access to two deep water ports via paved highway, both at Skagway as well as at Haines. Skagway is the port right now that most of the operating mines in the Yukon ship through. In addition, there's high capacity power at Haines Junction, just down the Alaska Highway from our project. And the Yukon government has been very supportive of seeing additional infrastructure as needed to support projects like ours. In addition, the First Nation, the Klani First Nation, that's in our area, has signed a treaty with Canada, and so they are a settled First Nation and very supportive of mining. In fact, they have selected their lands in and around our project for mining development. So with this project having been a former operating mine, with a project that's in a relatively dry area of the Yukon, so we don't have a lot of water management issues to deal with, and so accessible to infrastructure, we believe that we've got a project that can move rapidly through the permitting process and is quite fortunate to be able to be developed without the need for building large infrastructure to support it.
And of course, the project in question here is the Wellgreen project, and there was a name change. So investors that might have taken December off to come back to see this prophecy went to Wellgreen. What can you say about that? Any other highlights to the project that we need to know about?
Yeah, the company's development has been one of let's say, an evolution, if you will. Discovered back in the 1950s and put into production in the 1970s by Hud Bay. A number of other groups came in the 80s, including Robert Friedland and others. But back in the late 90s, our predecessor company, Northern Platinum, acquired the project and first looked at this as an open pittable, bulk mineable deposit. Prophecy Resource, which was our original parent company, spun out the company originally as Prophecy Platinum. And to show a focus on our Wellgreen project, we've just gone through a name change and a symbol change. It's now WG on the TSX Venture and WGPLF down in the United States on the OTCQX. And that name change just really reflects our focus on the Wellgreen project as our namesake, as our flagship development project. And that's really where the company's real key value lies. We do have a second asset that's in Ontario. It's in the Sudbury Mining District. It's been in operations between 2008 and 2012. We are looking at the potential to bring that project back on stream, and are undertaking some studies. But it is a significantly smaller project. It could produce cash flow that could help support the development of Wellgreen. But Wellgreen, with its large resource and its world-class potential, is the focus of the company, and thus, a big part of the name change. The company also went through a significant share restructuring late last year. We saw a 40% shareholder drop to under 30%, and then that 30% was picked up by three of our largest shareholders, doubling up on their positions. And so that restructuring of the company's ownership also was part of us putting in place a new board of directors, and also goes to that overall corporate restructuring and name change.
So for investors looking to get involved here, what can be expected as far as news flow in 2014, maybe first quarter, or anything significant, catalyst, milestone-wise through the course of the year?
Yeah, because we had an active drill program last year in the Yukon, there weren't a lot of active projects even in Canada, but we had a significant project on our project in the Yukon and at Wellgreen. And so investors can expect to continue to see releases of drill results and interpretation over coming months. We have metallurgical test work that's in progress to update the understanding on the recovery of the metals. We're quite confident that we're going to improve on the previous numbers that were used in our last economic assessment with that work. It's designed to optimize the recoveries, particularly the PGMs. And we will be looking to put out a significant update on engineering and economics on the project in the second quarter of this year. And then that would lead into the start of pre-feasibility studies in the second half of 2014. So it should be quite an active year for us in terms of news flow and developments. And we think that the new vision that we're going to put into the next study, which is going to be looking at something smaller scale, with higher grade and lower capital, there's going to be, quite a meaningful update for the market in terms of understanding the new vision for the project.
What about any personal thoughts on the metals where they are now, and the uniqueness of the PGMs and the sentiment in that space?
Well, of all the precious metals, the platinum group metals probably have the strongest fundamentals. Both gold and silver appear to continue to go through consolidations and could be subject, I think, to further declines in price. The platinum metals are really quite a different story. The fundamentals there being that most of the world's platinum and palladium is used in green technology, catalytic converters for removing pollution. In automobiles is the single largest source. And because so much of the world's platinum and palladium is concentrated in South Africa and in Russia from deep, high-cost underground mines, we have seen an interesting situation where demand for platinum and palladium has been increasing since the 1980s, pretty much continuously. But since about the mid-2000s, 2004 for palladium and 2006 for platinum, we have seen actual mine supply falling pretty much year on year since that period. And that's due to that high cost structure and inability to modernize and mechanize those deep underground mines in South Africa. So we continue to see that trend in motion, where we're seeing a falling global mine supply and increasing global demand for the platinum metals, which could be very bullish for higher prices of those metals going forward. In fact, about 70% of the platinum industry is not today making their all-in total cost of production at the current platinum price. So either we're going to continue to see mines shut down in South Africa, or we're going to have to see the price of those metals rise. Either way, either development would likely result in ultimately higher prices for the metal, which would mean that these assets should receive higher valuations. And as I mentioned, compared to the gold market, the platinum market is so much smaller that there's only a handful of companies that have projects in the development stage of scale. And our Wellgreen project is one of the largest undeveloped resources in the world.
Well said. Greg Johnson, President and CEO of Wellgreen Platinum. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for telling your story.
Thanks a lot.